Hello, welcome back to my vlog. So today I want to talk about a couple things. First, I want to talk about what I completely forgot to talk about in my last vlog, which is one of the major reasons I wanted to make it in the first place, which is your work visa. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that before I forget again. Whenever you come to Japan to work, if you're not coming through a program, then you have to have a work visa. Well, my story, which I'll make it as short as I possibly can, I got my job kind of short notice. I had applied to it, and they were like, okay, yes, you're hired. We need you here basically as soon as you can get here. It's like, well, okay, I have my passport, but I don't have my visa. I don't really have, anything else, basically. Like, don't worry about it. We'll get your visa when you get here. Just get here, and we'll take care of it. So when I did get here, I was not able to do anything because not only did they not get my visa taken care of, they didn't even start anything for my visa. They didn't get the paperwork that I needed to fill out. They didn't do anything. So when I got here, I literally could not do anything. I couldn't get a cell phone. I couldn't get my apartment. I couldn't get paid. I really couldn't even go to the schools because I was technically a liability because I didn't have a contract. So pretty much when I first got here, I was crashing on people's floors because I didn't have my apartment. So thankfully, the girl that picked me up from the airport was so sweet and let me sleep on her floor. And then there was another ALT that let me stay at his apartment a couple times as well. And so I was really lucky that I had people that could help me out. But so basically I was here for about a month, almost a month, whenever everything finally went through and I got my visa. And then I could get my apartment and I could fill out all the paperwork. I could get everything taken care of. So the moral of my story, no matter what the company says, get your visa. That's it. Because when you're here without your visa, you can't do anything. On a tourist visa, you can't get a cell phone, you can't get an apartment, you can't do anything. So no matter what, get the visa first. It's really important and it's going to save you so much heartache. That is a lesson learned on my part, which, really it kind of seems like common sense, and I probably should have known better, but I was really excited about coming to Japan, so I didn't care. And it worked out in the end, so I guess it's not too bad. Anyway, so that's what I meant to put in the last video, and I actually tried to edit it and put it in before I uploaded it, but the program was giving me a lot of problems, so I gave up and just decided that I would squeeze it in on the next video, which I have. So now I'm moving on to the next subject I'm going to talk about today, and that is Japanese schools. Japanese schools are very interesting, actually. They're very different from American schools for the most part. So let's just start in the morning. So in the morning, whenever I pull into school, there is usually a line of students on each side of the gate and a couple teachers and usually the kocho sensei, the principal, standing out front. Ohayou gozaimasu, ohayou gozaimasu, everybody's saying good morning and waving at you, and it's pretty cool. But it's mine is a narrow entryway, so I'm always afraid I'm going to hit somebody. I haven't yet, so. Anyway, so there's that, which is, as far as I know, different from schools in the States. I was in a little country school, and we definitely did not have that. Also, There's a lot of cleaning in the schools. Usually there's, as I'm walking in up the stairs in the morning, there's kids, sweeping leaves up out of the parking lot and, um, just cleaning various things. Club activities for the students. I mean, these students, it's insane. They're usually up by, 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. They get to school early to practice their club or their sport until around 8 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock school starts. They have to go to their homeroom, do their usual preparations and things like that, and then class will start around 8:30, 8:45. And then you have your classes, and then lunchtime. Lunch is also very different from the lunches at home because you don't go to a cafeteria for lunch in Japanese schools. It's actually in each classroom they have lunch. And I think some schools you can bring lunch, but in my schools you can't. You have to eat the school lunch. And so what happens is each day it changes. There'll be different students that go get the lunch. And so certain students will go down and get the different components for lunch, the soup and the rice and everything, the trays and the silverware, and they'll bring it all up. And then they'll serve the food to the other students. And the students have all their desks in a little, cluster for lunch. And then the homeroom teacher will eat in the room with the students. The other teachers eat down in the teacher's room. And then after lunch, the students have to clean. Again, they have to take all the food, the containers and things back down to the kitchen area. And then they spend, I think, like the next 20 minutes or so cleaning their classroom. And each teacher is responsible for a different group of students. So me, for example, I have a group of students that I have helped me clean the English room. We have an extra room for split classes. And so, I have to make sure that they stay on task, which is not easy sometimes. So, they have to clean the chalkboard, and they have to wipe off the desks and vacuum and all this kind of things. And students, I know in school I always got in trouble if I drew on the desks. I have never seen so much artwork on school desks in my life. I don't know if it's maybe just my schools, I don't know, but they're always drawing on the desks, whether they're writing, things in Japanese, or every once in a while they'll write something in English, and sometimes they draw pictures, and I mean, just an insane amount of drawing on the desk. And I know I always got in trouble for it, but the teachers here don't seem to care too much, so it keeps my students busy when I'm making them clean, so I guess I can't complain too much about it. But anyway, so they clean for about 20 minutes, and then after that they have about, I think, 15 or 20 minutes to like a kind of recess where they can do whatever they want to do. They can talk with their friends and do that, and then class starts back up. And everything is normal until the end of the classes, and then it's sports practice again, sports and club practice. So students can, they'll go and they'll practice whatever club they're in, basketball club or art club, and they'll practice that until, 4:30, or sometimes the club activities go until 5:30, and then some students go to jukus, which are cram schools. So they could go to these schools and they'll study more. So whether it's an English cram school or a math cram school or whatever, they go there, and they're usually there until about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So you're looking at these middle school kids getting up at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning, and they are literally going until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then they get home, and then they have to do homework. So it's just insane. I couldn't imagine doing that in middle school. And so that's a typical kind of junior high school day. It's almost the same in elementary, but they aren't there as late. And some students go to Juku in elementary too. I don't think as many students do. Let's see, what else? Oh, so I was under the misconception whenever I came to Japan that Japanese students are better behaved than American students, and that, you know, this was going to be really easy. You know, they're always going to listen, and they're always going to be, you know, very attentive and things like that, which in hindsight is really stupid. I mean, they're just kids. Kids, no matter where you are going to be kids, and they're going to do what they want to do most of the time. So I have some troubled students. So for the most part, the kids are great. You know, they do like English, and they do like trying to talk in English, and they enjoy the class for the most part. But then there are students that are really disruptive and really bad, and they don't want to try, and they don't want to listen, and it was really kind of surprising for me. It's not something I expected, because, you know, as Japanese culture is usually assumed to be a very respectful culture, and it is. But, you know, kids don't always follow the rules, so it's very difficult sometimes. They're never really rude to me, but with their homeroom teacher, sometimes it's really bad, and so that is where it's kind of the same sometimes, I guess, because I've seen a lot of disrespectful students whenever I was in school. So it's pretty much the same, that, you know, they're not always going to be, you know, perfect students. Let's see, this video is getting really long, but I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. Yeah, I guess that's really it. I can't think of anything else. I wanted to talk more about behavior, but like I said, this video is getting kind of long. So maybe I'll just stop talking now. Yep. Okay, so that's all for this week's video. I will be putting out another video next week, and I think my next video I will talk about tattoos in Japan, because I have a few, and so we're going to talk about that. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye.